After the Supreme Court's tariff decision became public on Friday morning, President Trump, he expressed that he is not happy about it. Friday afternoon, he had a press conference, and here he announced that he's going to impose a 10% global tariff. Are you concerned that this has the potential to push our allies even further into the arms of China?
I think that it will. When you have it's not just the question of tariffs, it's the way they're imposed. And I don't think President Trump helped himself with apparently haphazard and arbitrary imposition of tariffs, where he would impose them one day, he says, and then a couple days later, he would take them down. And imposing tariffs on penguins is just not a good look for the United States. So I think that we need to have a trade policy which looks to be well thought out and implemented clearly, and we haven't had that. And so this is going to be, I think, very difficult for Trump because Trump has a negotiating style. But that style, I think, hurt him at the Supreme Court.
And as I said earlier, President Trump is going to China. He's going there end of March, beginning of April. What are you specifically looking out for in that meeting? If you could advise President Trump, what would you say to him?
First of all, don't go. For a lot of reasons. President Trump can't go to Keir Starmer and say it's dangerous for the UK to have trade relations with China when President Trump is trying to establish better trade relations with China. That just does not work. So I think it's important for President Trump to set the tone. The other thing, of course, is that by Trump going to Beijing, he is showing himself, in the Chinese eyes at least, to be a vassal. That's what vassals do. They go to the Chinese Grand Celestial Court and they show their submission. Now, I'm sure Trump doesn't view it that way, but that's not important. What's important is what the Chinese think. And the reason is because that's the way that's going to determine the way they act. So I think that it's important for Xi Jinping to come to the United States first, and these optics matter. We are Americans, so we don't think symbolism is important. But in insecure regimes like Beijing, symbolism is almost everything. And so we've got to start to think like the way the Chinese think.
And what exactly is that symbolism? If you're in Beijing, you see the President of the United States coming over after he's had tough talk about China. I mean, what does that look like to you?
It looks like Trump recognizes that he is in an inferior bargaining position to China. It looks like he's a vassal. That's the way Chinese have thought for hundreds of years. This is not just communists. This is Chinese foreign policy or Chinese attitudes towards foreigners. And so we have to look at it the way they do. I think Xi Jinping is going to be tougher to deal with after Trump goes to Beijing. And that's not good for us.
What do you think that will really look like after? How will he be tougher to deal with?
I think, for instance, he will not honor his promises on exports of rare earths to the United States. They can slow walk that process. They can slow walk the buying of soybeans, things that are important to President Trump. They'll continue to engage in predatory trade practices. This is just not good for